All right, say something. Say something. Daryl or Katie? You still there? What the hell?
Right here.
Oh, I'm sitting here waiting for y'all to respond, and nobody says anything.
We were sitting there listening to the start of the show. Yeah.
All right, well, my YouTube does not...
Right here.
Oh, fuck, I gotta change the damn key. Damn it. The stream key, it's not streaming to, it's not going live on YouTube. All right, let's see, Spreaker, no. Where is, oh, maybe it's in BCP. No. Sci Fi Talk, no. Shit. I forgot where I put it.
Wow, you are already live on YouTube.
Oh, I am?
Yeah.
Oh, well, it doesn't show it. Hang on, it doesn't show it on mine. Yes, it is live. All right, holy shit. Sorry about it. If anybody's listening right now, I apologize for this fucked up start that we're doing. We are going live here in a minute, and I just got to find my music. Where did it go? No, it's not there. All this, I'm going through all this for a 30-second start. 30 seconds. Second video. Oh, wait a minute, I know where it's at. It's on my desktop. Oh, one out. Here we go. And 3, 2, 1. Play. Come on, play. And we're about to start. It's thinking. My computer is thinking. It's going, Welcome to Friday News. This is Thomas Fry, your host and bringer of news to all my listeners out there. So I appreciate the calmness of paying attention when we start. We had a slight issue today. I will try to not have that problem in the future. So welcome to Friday News. I am Thomas Fry, your host, and yes, I spell it Fryday. This is our brand new news show where we have local news, world news, and COVID-19 real news, not that fake shit you go on that these Democrats are only telling you what they want you to know. The world is changed. It is different. It will never be the same, no matter what happens. And this doesn't matter what anybody tells you. What happens after May 1st when the stay-at-home order is lifted here in the United States, and particularly here in Florida, where the awesome studios of WWTR, which is sponsoring this, and CK Custom and Paladin Security and Blue Collar Politics and GERN, the Global Enlightenment Radio Network, all sponsoring this show to help us get up and going because we felt y'all needed the news. And yes, I am a Southerner, so don't make fun of my y'alls. Okay, we're going to start with COVID-19 because I am listening. It's on everywhere, and you can't not see it, okay? I don't care if you just got a cell phone or an iPad or whatever it is you have. It doesn't matter. It's everywhere, and 90% of it is bullshit. It's not true. So let me give you the facts. The facts are, in my county, I know this doesn't matter, but in Marion County, Florida, where the studio is, there's 101 confirmed cases. There has been 3 deaths, and nobody has recovered. Now, that's as of today. In Florida, there's 22,897 confirmed cases, 633 deaths, and no one's recovered. Boy, that's not a good stat. United States, 690,279 confirmed cases, 57,125 are recovered, and there's been 36,118 deaths. That's one of the things we are going to talk about here on Friday News, is the number of deaths and these morgues and what they are dealing with on this whole situation. Now, worldwide, there's 2,214,861 cases, 564,525 recoveries, and 150,948 deaths, and that is not including China. China has lied from the beginning. We know they had 11,000 deaths in that first city, and they do not report that like the rest of the world does. They started this mess, and damn it, they should pay the $2 trillion bill for passing out all this money, and maybe an extra trillion for the traumatic that this is making all our teenage kids go crazy. Because they're not used to having their parents around 24/7, and they can't get away with doing what they do when they're home alone when you're at work. So they can't do that anymore. So this should really cut down on teenage pregnancies, and it cuts down on everything. Let me tell you, folks, okay, the reality of it is once the stay-at-home order is lifted, and what I want to talk about first is, let's go over what the president said. As COVID-19 continues to spread across the U.S., President Donald Trump has given the governors guidance on reopening state economies in the coming months. The guidelines for opening up America again outline 3 phases for states to gradually ease their lockdowns. Mr. Trump promised governors they would be handling the process themselves with help from the federal government. And this is the way it should be. Our federal government was only formed because they pay attention to what's good for the country. The governors pay attention to what's good for the state. The mayors pay attention to what's good for the city. All of those systems have a group of people behind them that help them make those decisions. You're not made by individual people. Now, President Trump has about 50 people that weigh in on these decisions. I think he's done a relatively good job. If we wouldn't have got that money on time, my truck would still be broke. So we just came back from getting my truck fixed. It took half of it, though, but we got her fixed, so she's rolling again good. Um, if you live in New York, I am sorry, but you're going to have problems because in New York is the worst place where COVID-19 is. It's the absolute worst place. New York's had more deaths than about 100 countries around the world, and there's only 200 in some countries. So they have a lot of deaths, all right? But it's not going to dampen our reopening. We are going to reopen our country slowly in the proper way. Restaurants, they're not opening schools yet. They are opening even more bus lines. They're opening regular contractors, regular businesses, all the businesses that don't really have a lot of people in them. Taverns, bars can be open, but they have new guidelines. You can't move next to each other. So in front of a bar, say you have 20 seats, all right? So the bar has to take 10 of those seats out. So that way you're sitting 2 or 3 feet away from the person next to you. That will protect you in the, hey, Donnie. Glad to see you're listening. Man, Florida's awesome, and I hope the weather's been treating you good up there in Ohio. Folks, I came down here from Ohio, and one of my best friends from back in Ohio just jumped in the chat room, and we have chat rooms on YouTube. We have chat rooms on Facebook. So if you want to ask any questions or make any comments, hit one of them. You can go to Blue Collar or go to Thomas A.J. Fry on Facebook, which is thomas.fry25, and you can find me on Facebook, or look up Blue Collar Politics, and there's a tab that'll take you back to that site. You can jump in the chat room, or you can go to YouTube and punch in Thomas Fry, and you should be able to see the live feed, which I did not open. Blue Collar or go to Thomas A.J. Okay. I had to check. I got some people in the chat room, and I forgot to turn it on. I'm bad. I know. All right, so let's get back to the news. I like what the president's doing in the daily briefing. He's at the next front in our war, opening up America again. This is going to be difficult. This is going to be complicated because everything is going to change. They're no longer, and I want anyone that has this in their head to get it out of your head. You will never go back to the way it was, okay? Maybe after you and I are dead and our kids are 50 years old, then maybe they might be able to go to places and not have to wear protective gear and wear something over their mouth. But we're going to look like China for a while because if we do not honor the distances between the people, you can't shake hands anymore. You got to do a fist bump with the end of your hand so you don't get in trouble. I was at the lumber store, and I'm in a wheelchair now, so it makes it rather difficult for me to get big pieces of wood. And I had a couple other people at the thrift store, or at the lumber store. Not only did they help me put the piece of wood in the cart, but they helped me through the cash register and then helped me put it on my truck and strap it down. Those guys are awesome. And I want to, they paid it forward big time. My help I really appreciate that. So, there are good people out in the world, okay? And I think this is going to make everything better because people got more respect for family and friends, and the deaths. Some people are not not even maybe sane coming out of this when they lose. I watch the news and I watch people they're like, yeah, my mother and my father died and my husband died, but my kids are okay. There was another one. We had a 7-year-old die from COVID-19, so the parents are devastated. So it's going to take time to get back open, but we just can't afford to keep everybody at home, which is what we need to do. So I will tell you the facts. The fact is, you still need to stay home except for your work, going to the grocery store, and that. Just for the next couple of months, just stay home, okay? It's no big deal. You don't have to go out. You don't have to go there. So if you don't have to, stay at home. Watch movies on the TV. I'm sure you bought more services since the thing started. And so you can watch movies and stuff with your kids. Go work on your car if you're a dad. Or not a dad and just like working on cars. But find a pastime that you can do with a few people around, so you got conversation, you got the ability to talk to your friends and work with them. But even though they're your best friend or whomever you still have to be careful, because someone could unwillingly pass or unknowingly pass this on, and that's not unheard of. I mean, we had people from January to March walking around sicker than hell, and nobody knew what they had, and then bam, next thing you know, we got 279,000 confirmed cases. That's a lot, but we got 380 million Americans, so it's a smaller amount, but it's deadly. And I live right next to the villages, and you just have to, give some people some respect, move out of their way, be nice about it. Everybody's going through a tough time. Everybody has the same issues, from the biggest business all the way down to the family unit. So just be nice and careful, and run to the grocery store once a week instead of 2 or 3 times. Buy enough food, enough drink for the whole week, and you will be good to go. Now, let's go over a few things. Oh, wait a minute, I got one more world thing. Wuhan officials have revised the death toll up by 50%. I mean, they didn't tell. Oh, they don't even have an explanation by it. That's lovely. We will check this out and see if it's got anything, but I'm not sure. China does not tell information out to the world. If they would have said something in January, hey, we got a problem down here, so, you guys should watch out and, start testing people. This blows my mind that we have, out of all the testing, we have like 80,000 test kits. Well, I got a question. If we would have known this from the beginning, would we have more test kits, or does that not make a difference? We have 390 million people, and we got 80,000 test kits? That's not covering. You need to know who has it, so you can isolate them, they can get better, and it's only about a 2-week span that they have to go through and do this. So, what the hell, folks? Just follow a couple of simple things. Don't say, government's not telling me what to do. I know, they're not telling you what to do. If you'd read every word in the paragraph and stop reading the first sentence in each paragraph and then thinking you know everything about the subject, read the whole paragraph. It says, it is suggested that you stay home, you wear face masks when you're out, and you use a lot of that disinfectant, the stuff that goes on your hands. So even if There it is. Yeah, I got to do this right. You know, you go, right? You got that? Okay. For all my long-term listeners, you'll know what that sound is. Y'all, most of y'all love it, but I'm glad to bring it back for you. Okay. China
At the start of the outbreak, this is where China directed the world's attention, suggesting that this Wuhan seafood market was the source of the novel coronavirus outbreak. CNN locked down in January. Officials had shut down the wet market, and security told us to leave. U.S. intelligence officials tell CNN they are investigating another possible source, suggesting the virus may not have originated naturally as China has advertised, but rather that it possibly started in a Wuhan lab. Sources say it is one of many origin theories the U.S. is looking into. Chinese officials pushing back against that claim on Thursday.
This blows the mind, does it not? I mean, wow.
The foreign ministry spokesperson dismissing that the virus started in a lab, instead stressing that, quote, this is a scientific issue that should be studied by scientists and medical experts. Yet, it is the same spokesperson who last month floated a controversial theory, tweeting that it might be the U.S. Army who brought the epidemic to Wuhan.
Whoa.
China tried to say at one point, maybe they stopped now, that it was caused by American soldiers. That can't happen. It's not going to happen.
Well, that's Trump. You know him. He'll shut them down right away. I don't know why this keeps cutting out, but I want you to hear it. It's important. It's very important because it gives you a good overall view of the entire picture. Our government is working very hard.
Happen. Not as long as I'm president. It comes from China.
The latest debate over the virus's actual origin coincides with a damning Associated Press report. It claims China sat on critical information for 6 full days, from January 14th until January 20th, downplaying the outbreak in public, before finally revealing the full scope of the threat. The AP report is based on what they characterize as a memo from a January 14th confidential teleconference involving the head of China's National Health Commission. CNN has combed through the government's public report of that teleconference, which was released more than a month after it took place. It says, a quote,
A sober
understanding of the situation was made known to top Chinese government officials, adding that, quote, clustered cases suggest that human-to-human transmission is possible. But that was not the message shared publicly from health officials at the time. In fact, as hundreds of millions traveled leading up to the Lunar New Year holiday, mass gatherings at airports and railway stations, the Wuhan Health Commission maintained that the outbreak was controllable and preventable and that this was not contagious. It was not until January 20th that leading health officials acknowledged publicly cases of human-to-human transmission, and they even stated that medical personnel had gotten infected. CNN spoke with one of the doctors who early on tried to sound the alarm and contracted the illness. Wuhan ophthalmologist Dr. Li Wenliang was reprimanded in early January by Wuhan police. They accused the 34-year-old of spreading rumors after he had messaged friends, warning them of a SARS-like illness going around. Instead of listening to his warning, police silenced Dr. Li and other whistleblowers. He died of coronavirus in early February. CNN's early reporting also highlighted an underreporting of cases. Wuhan residents telling us that their loved ones were never tested, despite suffering from coronavirus-like symptoms. Instead, their deaths listed as severe pneumonia, whether it was intentional or due to a lack of testing. For some, China's reported numbers of coronavirus cases and deaths does not add up.
The mere fact that we don't know the answers, that China hasn't shared the answers, I think is very, very telling.
All right. I love that. I love that report. I think it's so important. Officials in Wuhan, where the virus was first reported late last year on Friday, added 1,290 coronavirus deaths to the city's toll. They also added 325 confirmed cases to the city tally. The total number of cases that was reported now stands at 50,333, with 3,869 deaths. The previous reported death toll was only 2,500. So the revised figure is 50% increase in the number of deaths in the city from coronavirus. As of April 17th, China's National Health Commissioner reported 3,300 deaths nationally before they revised Wuhan's figures were published. I still think they're lying. I think it's more like 10 or 20,000, but they're just not letting everybody know what they're doing on this. Officials explained the deaths had initially gone unaccounted in the early stages of the pandemic, and some people died at home. Overwhelmed medics were focused on treating cases rather than reporting deaths. And due to a delay in collecting figures from various government or private organizations, they added figures had been revised to show accountability to history, to the people and the victims, as well to ensure open and transparent discussion of information and data accuracy. This isn't the first time health authorities in China have changed the numbers related to the pandemic. The way cases were counted was changed 3 times in January and February, leading to a widespread confusion over the extent of the